summer. I'll tell you about the time I went to Super Summer.
I think we got some haters out there.
We got some haters? Where are the haters?
The Orange School trying to mock our sizzle.
Oh, that's right, they were!
You know what I think we need to do? I think we need to rap about it! Now the Orange School's the AP 110 to rumble, but we're gonna teach them how to be humble. Trying to steal our sizzle, trying to keep it real, but if they read their Bible, they know. Thou shalt not steal!